feel like a lot of your connection and your value in life comes from you just being open and vulnerable about yourself, about your life, your experiences, your lessons, all of that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily about like what you know and what you can tell others, because by being open and vulnerable, being able to do that in social interactions with other people and sharing those things and being completely authentic, that allows other people to kind of gives them permission unconsciously to do the same, and it just really helps. That's valuable, and if you have like a personal brand, you put yourself out there, you talk about things, you educate on topics. Again, being very open and vulnerable is valuable because it allows other people to look at what your situation was, what your experiences have been, and relate to them and realize, oh, they were here, but they've been able to get here. They've been able to get out of their situation where they were experiencing all this suffering. They've been able to move beyond that stuff. And it just helps inspire others, and you become valuable because you're helping people to open up themselves and show them the way that they can go about it. And if you feel like you are resistant to that, you're resistant to opening up and being vulnerable and sharing authentically yourself, your life, your experiences, your past with other people, it's likely that you're disconnected from yourself and you're disconnected from your own emotions, and you haven't really faced the reality of your experiences in a way where you can be completely open about them with yourself. Because when you can be completely open with them about yourself, and you've healed the pain from the experiences, or you've been able to actually develop the courage to look at those things and look at, okay, I know I'm more than these past experiences, but I gotta process these things, I gotta feel them, I gotta accept them, then it's likely you just haven't done that yet. And so in order to do that, or when you do that, when you open up and you can accept these things about yourself and be real with yourself about your past, your experiences, your internal deeper motivations that led you to doing certain things or making certain mistakes in your life, then you'll become more self-aware. You'll know yourself better, and not only that, but you'll be able to let go of the grasp that these past experiences and the emotions that are attached to them have on your life now, and how they're continually playing out unconsciously in your life today. Even if the experiences were from the past, if you haven't addressed them, they're still unconsciously affecting you in some way. Or the emotions from them, maybe you shy away from sharing certain things because you feel a very strong emotional charge when it comes up, like you can't talk about it without crying. That's because you haven't addressed these feelings within yourself yet. And so once you address those feelings within yourself, then you can be open and vulnerable comfortably. It's not comfortable, but as you continue to do it, you do it more, you become more comfortable with these aspects of your life, your past, yourself, then you can more comfortably open up about them and more comfortably have vulnerable, open, genuine, authentic conversations with people, instead of all the surface level, shallow shit like sports and whatever's going on politically in the world, that kind of stuff. Right? You can actually have deeper conversations with people and be a genuine, share your humanness, your genuine experiences, right? And so when you have that emotional charge there, like you can't talk about it without crying or getting upset, you haven't addressed those things yet. So I encourage you, if that is you, face what's going on inside, face what happened in the past, face these experiences that have, undeniably impacted you, and don't just let them continue to run unconsciously in the background, because they are causing certain things like self-sabotage, fear, worry, judgment, self-criticism, all that kind of stuff. You can let go of those and you can move beyond them into experiencing a better life, experiencing better circumstances. So don't be afraid to be open about those things, because that is a big part of your humanness and what connects you to other people, because we're all in a part of this collective consciousness. We're all connected to each other through this collective consciousness, and the ego kind of is like a wall in the way that kind of blocks us off from, unless we have these conversations, it kind of blocks us off from that connection that we have with everybody else who's also going through, the struggles, the challenges that we've gone through, that we're going through. It kind of blocks us off from that connection because we think we're alone. We think we're the only ones going through it. We feel shame and guilt around it because we don't recognize it as just a normal human experience. And we feel shame and guilt around it because we feel that these are parts of ourselves that we can't express, that can't be talked about, that can't be accepted because they're bad, right? They're bad, and we need to hide these parts of ourselves. And so we feel the shame and the guilt around it. But when you open up and you become vulnerable, you realize that honestly, what we usually fear the most is being open and vulnerable, being exposed. If you view certain parts of yourself as unacceptable or bad, or you hold things against yourself, we have this deep fear of being exposed or opening up completely, being completely genuine about our thoughts and our feelings and our experiences. We have this fear, and that's one of our deepest fears, is that vulnerability. However, one of our deepest cravings is the connection that comes from being open and vulnerable. So you have to go through this discomfort with being open and vulnerable in order to receive the connection that you really want in life, that you really crave the most, which is the knowing that you're worthy of love. The connection is connecting to other people, connecting to the love, connecting to the mutual understanding and compassion. And it's really an amazing feeling, realizing and truly knowing, like deep within you, that you're not alone, that you are a part of something much bigger, and that as a collective we are all working through certain issues together, and that you can be open and you are safe to share your experiences with other people and connect with people on those deeper levels. So I encourage you to do something, to have a conversation that's vulnerable, that brings something up. Tell somebody about a past experience that you've been kind of hiding or holding on to, or whatever it may be, because that may just be the next step in your next most important step of evolution, of your evolutionary process, of the expansion of your mind and your consciousness. So be open, allow yourself to be vulnerable, because vulnerability really is power. Oftentimes a big reason why we resist it is the ego wants to seem as this I have it all figured out. It doesn't want to show weakness, and in society we've been conditioned to not want to show weakness either. However, and we view vulnerability as a weakness, but it's really not weakness. It is power. If you can be open and vulnerable, you're embracing a power that most people have not even experienced yet. And so I really encourage you to dig deeper into this in your own personal life, whether you do some journaling on it or just some meditating, thinking, contemplation. Think about it. Like, where can you open up next? Because oftentimes what you realize is a lot of the things that you want externally in life, like the financial success, whatever it may be, the happiness, fulfillment, you just go through most days and you have this feeling of like unease, like maybe it's some pressure or anxiety or like stress. You feel this anxious, this something within you, you feel anxious, you feel the pressure. What's really going to allow you to get to the level of freedom that you want to experience is really leaning into the fears of being seen at deeper levels, the fears of vulnerability. And what you'll realize is when you are vulnerable, when you embrace and develop the courage to be vulnerable, you inspire that in others as well. And then other people are growing as a result of you. So think about how do you want other people to feel when you are around them? How do you want to make other people feel? And how do you want to impact people in your life? Because if you're not being vulnerable, you're not going to have a great impact on them. That's just the reality of it, or you're not going to have as much of an impact as you could, when you could be helping the people around you to grow and to let go of the things that are the resistance that's in the way of them experiencing their true freedom and fulfillment and happiness and peace and joy and love that's within them already. It's like the clouds blocking the sun. The sun is always shining. It's just the resistance that's in the way of you receiving that sunlight, right? So that's what I got for today. and I hope you can take away something from this video. Let me know down in the comments what you took away from this, how this made you feel, and what kind of insights that you had in hearing this in this video. Let me know. Would greatly appreciate it. And I love you. Peace.